Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of CTLN Opinion Plus, where we have conversations about issues and concerns of the Latino community. Today we're joined by Deb Polun, Executive Director of Connecticut Association for Community Action. Thank you for joining us, Deb.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Can you give us a little bit of information about CAFCA and the work CAFCA does in the state of Connecticut?
Sure. CAFCA, the Connecticut Association for Community Action, is the state association that works with Connecticut's 9 community action agencies. And community action agencies have been around for almost 60 years. They were established as part of the War on Poverty, and there's about 1,000 of them across the country, 9 in the state of Connecticut, and they serve about 200,000 people every year in Connecticut in every city and town. And our office, CAFCA, helps the community action agencies with the work that they do to try to ensure that they're providing the best programs and services for low-income people across our state.
And what are some of the leading programs and services that CAFCA does offer?
The community action agencies offer a wide variety of services. They all offer assistance with energy costs. They offer enrollment into the SNAP program, which used to be called food stamps. And many also have childcare, including Head Start. They have Meals on Wheels, free income tax assistance, financial literacy programs, job training, a variety of case management services to help people set their goals and then meet those goals, housing, counseling, a whole host of services for people across the age spectrum and across Connecticut.
Awesome. What are some recent challenges your office has faced due to the pandemic?
I would say, without a doubt, the biggest challenge has been staffing. And I know businesses, nonprofits across the state and families across the state have really struggled with COVID, not just when you yourself might get COVID, but if anybody in your household has COVID, that generally has meant that you've had to stay home. And so that has led to some staffing challenges for the community action agencies. Sometimes, unfortunately, that has meant that daycare classrooms have to be closed because the teacher either has COVID or has a child with COVID or a family member. And that impacts the community action agency, but has a broader impact on the full community. Because if you have to close a childcare classroom for a week, then all of those families are impacted in trying to either scramble to find additional childcare or try to stay home that week. So staffing has really been the biggest challenge.
And what's kind of been like the temporary solution for those issues of staffing?
We're scrambling, to be honest. We are providing as safe of environment that we can for our staff. We're trying to get everybody vaccinated. We've been providing masks, PPE. Since the very beginning of the pandemic, we've striven to create the safest work environment as we can for our staff, and therefore the safest environment as we can for our customers, including our youngest customers, our babies who are in the childcare. And so by the mitigation strategies and vaccination and trying to get the word out in our communities around the importance of vaccinating, masking, quarantining and isolating when exposed. Those are the ways that we're trying to combat these staffing issues.
How does CAFCA connect and interact with non-English speakers?
So our agencies are deeply rooted in their communities. They actually have boards that have community members serving on the boards, helping to try to craft the best programs and services for the community needs. And because they're so rooted in their communities, they hire staff from their communities so that programs are always provided in culturally appropriate ways in the languages of the people who are in their neighborhoods.
What is one initiative or program that CAFCA offers that you wish that more people either took advantage of or just knew about?
I'm going to bring up 2, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah.
The first, since we're in the cold part of the winter, is energy assistance. Mm-hmm. And we have gotten some additional federal funds this year for energy assistance. Everyone should try to find out whether you're eligible for the Connecticut Energy Assistance Program. This is a program that provides assistance whether you heat with gas, electricity, oil, or any other deliverable fuel. You might be eligible to receive help. And We know how important it is to your general health and ability to function, to have heat in your home. That is a very basic need. And I want to make sure people know that that program exists, know that there is plenty of funding for energy assistance this year, and the community action agencies are here and ready to serve people, getting them enrolled and up and running in that program. The second is we're just starting to get involved with the income tax season, and many of our community action agencies have what's called VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. And so you can actually get somebody to help you file your income taxes for free. And that's a great service that has helped many people in Connecticut receive refunds that they maybe wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Wow. And going back a little bit to that energy initiative, what does one have to do? Like, what are the qualifications to apply for that?
Yeah, so there are income limits that vary based on how many people live in your household. And there used to be what we call an assets test, where you'd have to show how much money you have in the bank as well. That no longer exists this year. We're trying to really streamline the application and enrollment into energy assistance. So it's basically about your income and number of people in your household. There are some documents that you have to provide to support that, either pay stubs or unemployment information is also acceptable. So the best thing to do is to get in touch with your local community action agency and start the process.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the history of CAFCA and like how it's grown and it's spread and helped the community?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, the community action agencies were started in 1964 as part of the War on Poverty. And the state associations around the country, like ours, help the community action agencies by providing training to staff, by providing assistance. We also promote the work that they do. And we also work with state policymakers and federal policymakers to make sure that they hear the voices of the clients that we're serving and can craft programs or modify programs as needed to make sure that they are providing the best use of our taxpayer dollars to help people who are in need. So one example of that is the Energy Assistance Program. This used to be a little bit more complicated to apply for. During COVID in 2020, the community action agencies were able to bring forward some concerns to our State Department of Social Services to help modify the program. And then throughout the year of 2020 and 2021, the program became a little more streamlined, a little more streamlined, a little more streamlined, until now it is a much easier program to apply for. And that's the power of having a state association that brings forward the concerns of multiple agencies, these 9 agencies who are hearing from hundreds of thousands of people across the state. So it's just really a way to support and strengthen and coordinate our work together to, in essence, really to help the people who need it most.
And just on a personal note, why is this work so important to you?
I think that I've been very happy to be able to work with the community action agencies and their staff members who are so dedicated to doing what they can to help the people that they serve. And it's never been more clear than it has been during COVID, when they have been so nimble and changing, whether they're seeing people in person or seeing people on the phone or talking to people on the phone. We had some agencies that used to do congregate meals for senior centers that had to switch, turn on a dime because senior centers weren't providing congregate meals anymore. And instead, they were able to deliver meals to people's homes so that their clients were still able to get nutritious meals on a daily basis. And it makes me really proud to see that the work is being done in a way that honors the needs of the people across our state. And to be able to just play even a small role in that makes me really proud of the work that we do here at CAFCA.
Do you have any other information or just additional resources you'd like to share with our audience today?
Absolutely. I would recommend that you visit our website, which is www.cafca.org. It's www.cafca.org. and you can find your local community action agency there by putting in your town, and you'll be able to be connected to figure out what services are being provided, how you can call them or contact them otherwise, or go to their office and find out what services are available to you to help you meet your goals, whether it's regarding housing or your education or your family life or your career. The community action agencies are there to help you meet those goals.
Thank you so much. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Deb, for joining us today.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Join us next time for another episode. For more information about our discussion today, check out our web story on ctlatinonews.com. Follow us on Twitter at ctlatinonews and Instagram at ct_Latino News. I'm Annabelle Rocha with CTLN Opinion Plus. See you next time.